Harvard meeting for a 5th straight season in the month of November, and away we go. Harvard had quite a trip this weekend. They were all the way out in the Bay Area. A couple of games at Cal, while Boston College was playing right down the road into Providence on Saturday. Krupa had it poked off her leg and out of bounds, and good hands from Athena Tomlinson to force the turnover.
Yeah, she's really had a nice season for Boston College running the point. There's Carrie Morris, done a wonderful job with this Harvard program. Basically, arguably their best year in program history last year. The 24 wins, Ivy League tournament champs, back in the NCAA tournament.
And trying to figure out and adjust to life post Harmony Turner. Carrie Moore is not lost to BC. She's 3-0 in her first 3 seasons against the Eagles. A drive by Carmody right to the rim. Well, we just highlighted her a moment ago, and she scores first for BC.
Strong take. There was about 6 or 7 on the timer when she made that move. Knew it was going to be on her at the end of the shot clock, and does a great job. Eagles starting a zone here. We're going to see a lot of this tonight.
Out of the corner, that's a 3 from Gabby Anderson. Offensive rebound. Carly White is the one who grabbed it. She's the point guard, essentially. And right inside, there is the local Abigail Wright. Second chance basket for Harvard. They split those 2 games that they played at an invitational out at the University of California. Played a very difficult schedule, have the Crimson, and we'll get into that. Amirah Anderson, the freshman. And here's the ACC's assist leader. Tomlinson tries it 2. And already something she could not do at Providence Saturday. Hit a basket.
Yeah, good commitment there. Got into the paint. Obviously understands she's at a size disadvantage there against White, so has to hang in the air from outside. And the Eagles commit a foul defensively.
Abigail Wright got tripped up. Athena Tomlinson was 0 for 10 in that loss against Providence College. This is, meanwhile, the first basket that they got from Lily Carmody.
Well, this is where the Eagles' offense working the right way. And here's Tomlinson. We'll show that one in a sec as she gets straight to the ACC logo, comes in, makes a nice little floater.
Nice cut by Wright. And Abigail Wright has the first 2 hoops for the Crimson.
So obviously when you're going against the zone, there's a couple of different ways to attack it. But so far, you know, you get a couple of things right. What are the ways to get a zone? Well, you can offensive rebound against it sometimes. It's Anderson no good in the fall away. And if you can send some cutters through, have a chance at success.
2.5 minutes in. And that's an offensive foul as Tomlinson hit the deck.
Tomlinson and Halp were both on the hardwood for Boston College. And you see it right there as Wright gets caught on the moving screen.
Boy, she got those elbows up pretty high.
Actually, the foul was not on her. The foul was on Katie Krupa. At least that's how it's marked in the book. So I think it was on Halp was the one who drew it for Boston College.
It really, as you look at that replay, could have been either called for an offensive foul. But it's interesting because Krupa picked it up. Katie Krupa, the senior out of Illinois. Very experienced starting lineup for Coach Carrie Moore. And inside again, it's Abigail Wright again. All 3 baskets for Harvard.
Well, Wright got free because Erin Halp lost her footing. And then when she tried to get back into the play, there was an open lane to the basket. And Wright's able to get to it. Watch here. Watch number 1 in White for Boston College here. She matches up with Wright. Right there, kind of stumbles a bit. Wright's able to get around. So far, Harvard has been able to exploit some size advantages that they have because of these Eagles guards in the zone.
And then Rolfe had it taken away as she tried the exchange down the court. And a miss that time by Krupa. Harvard had a pretty good fast break opportunity. That was their first missed shot of the game. They'd made 3 in a row at the outset. Nope, they just updated the stats. Their second missed shot.
Well, on that defensive play there, Rolfe trying to make the extra pass into the corner, but a good read by Carly White, who's been very active early on in this game. Knocks it out of bounds. Boston College retaining possession.
In off the bench for Coach Mack, you've got Kennedy Hall, the freshman big. That's a tough scoop in the lane there by Lily Carmody. And the ball comes free. Interesting that Kennedy Hall would come in, though, big number 31 at 6 feet 3 inches. You see her here helping clear some space.
Here's the take for Carmody right down the lane, working against Glenn Bello. But, you know, I think Carmody is starting to understand, you know, her role within this offense at a new place and how important it is for her and her scoring touch to get early, and she's had a couple of nice takes to the basket.
And off the bench, Tiani McDaniel tees it up. So you had the freshman Hall, and then Tiani McDaniel, who had started the first 5 games of the year, coming in at that last dead ball. Halp got her hands on the entry pass. And a foul against Harvard. Gabby Anderson, they are aggressive out on the perimeter defensively.
Physical game early on between these two teams. Let's start with the defense. Halp's just been knocked over time and time again. She's on the floor right there, but that's how you're gonna have to defend if you're Boston College. When you're, you know, you see some size disadvantages, you know, as we've talked about with this Eagles team, right? And especially when they're setting up in the zone that way. And
you're talking about size. That's why Kennedy Hall is playing. She's been dealing with a head injury. This is only the 2nd game she's gotten into, Eric. And they go to her early. McDaniel, 0 for 2 is Tiani McDaniel, who is tied with Carmody for the team lead in scoring coming in.
And at this point for Hall, it's more even about the, you know, the practice time missed. That shot hit nothing, but Harvard again gets an offensive rebound.
That was a good save by Wright. We'll try it again. Boy, that from Sanaya Glenn-Bello was halfway home.
Good rebound by Hall, too. That's why she's in there.
The trailer is Carmody. Each team has missed all 3 of its 3-point attempts in the opening 5 minutes. Senior Sanaya Glenn-Bello to the baseline here. Elena Rocco, who came in off the bench. The pass. And another missed 3-point shot. Nina Mnase. Offensive board, though, and you've got Gabby Anderson going to the line. She leads Harvard in rebounds.
Have really been where Harvard has gotten those games. And it'll be interesting to see what happens here if it's a game in the 4th. Just a, you know, tight little 31 points a game for Turner.
No kidding.
In those 3, 31-9.
Anderson splits the trip. And Harvard by 1. Well, the last 2 meetings, Harvard had to make up a deficit late. Boston College 2 years ago had a 6-point lead with about 6 minutes left here. Harvard came back and won. They outscored them 17-4. Final 6 minutes. And we showed you what happened last year in Cambridge. Greer, freshman off the bench, but it's knocked out of bounds by Harvard. So right now you've had Jocelyn Greer coming in, Tiani McDaniel. We told you about Kennedy Hall. Ava McGee, the 4th substitute in there for Joanna Burnaby McNamee. And that's Greer again. That was a good look.
Yeah, it was. Decent. Nice design there out of the inbounds play.
Boston College has missed 5 straight field goal attempts. Wow, Harvard is starting to find the range.
Well, again, yeah, what are the ways to beat a zone? Well, there's another one of them right there. You can hit that 3-point shot, especially there from the corner.
Inside Greer, twisting in the lane and couldn't hit it.
Boy, BC does the work there to break through the Harvard defense, get down the floor quickly, but just couldn't finish at the rim.
And they've had the looks they've wanted. Abigail Wright couldn't finish. Down the court, Tiani McDaniel, and she'll get to the line. Back to the first made 3-pointer of this game from the senior Sanaya Glenn-Bello.
Well, you'll see the design here, left side of your screen, as she just slips back. You can see the zone kind of totally collapses, and then a good play by Rocco to just screen enough that the defender can't get out there, and then here's the Eagles in transition. Expect to see Boston College just try to continue to get to the rim as much as possible. Just one of their last 9 from the floor after a decent start.
First free throw for Tiani McDaniel is off. She had her first game at BC without double-figure scoring at Providence Saturday when she was only 3 out of 9 from the field. And already coming in off the bench for the first time in her Eagles career, she's missed every shot she's taken. 2 field goals, 2 free throws, but the lane violation.
You know, X factor is probably too strong a word, but it feels like she's the one on this team that has the potential, and we've seen it in flashes, even going back to that exhibition game against UConn where she went for 20-plus points. That, you know, you see the flashes of the potential if they can have her healthy and have her right with this BC team this year.
Well, she takes advantage of that second opportunity given on the lane violation. So McDaniel, who averages 15, is on the board. 6-year college player. Carly White leaves it off for Krupa. Boy, Boston College is having to gang rebound. They're giving up a lot of size on the interior to the Crimson.
There's that adjustment period early on in the game, and now I think the Eagles kind of understanding the challenge of the rebounding that it's going to be today.
Boston College has missed its last 6 field goal attempts, but they're hanging in there. How about this size mismatch? Sanaya Glenbello, much taller than Athena Tomlinson. Amirah Anderson stepped back, and there's a field goal for BC, and it was a tough one.
Coach Mack loves her confidence. Then a travel here, so the Eagles defense creates a little bit of a problem.
It was Athena Tomlinson's defense in the backcourt that forced the turnover. And here's the freshman from Stafford, Virginia.
Coach Mack said, she's the one I'm never going to have to worry about continuing to shoot. She has the confidence every time and growing in now to her freshman season.
Just about 7 minutes in. Ava McGee. And now inside Carmody. Good move in the reverse for Lily Carmody, showing all the moves.
She's been the best Eagle offensively so far today, and all of it has been at the basket. Had the one look from 3, but otherwise it's been all about driving to the basketball.
That goes over the top of the backboard for Mary Hollensteiner on her first shot. Lily Carmody is 3 out of 4 for Boston College. Her teammates combined, other than her, have made only 1 basket.
Yeah, I could see Shaw didn't have perfect positioning there defensively, and Carmody is able to slip in behind.
5 points in a row for Boston College as we approach 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. That was an unforced turnover by Tomlinson. Leads to the run out for Carly White. Live ball turnover, and Carly White, the junior who comes in 15 points a game to lead Harvard, gets her first basket.
It's interesting. Both teams making life really difficult. The ball carriers coming up the court.
Amirah Anderson will try a 3 that popped halfway in and out.
Nice little design there on the wing. McDaniel and Anderson, a little slip. Just couldn't finish.
In a pretty whistle-free quarter, just 5 combined fouls. Abigail Wright, not really her game, shooting from out there. How about that outlet from Tomlinson to Carmody? Count it. A home run pass from Athena Tomlinson.
Well, there's 2 pieces of this, right? It's the shot, as you talked about, from Wright, but it also allows the Eagles to get out in transition before Harvard can set up defensively. So on both ends of the floor there, Boston College takes that in a big way.
Lily Carmody has been in double figures 4 out of the first 5 games with BC, and she's on her way. She's already got 9 points.
Yeah, she's been really, I think, everything that Boston College could have hoped for coming in as a transfer from Butler.
9 of their 14 here in the opening quarter. Harvard trails by 2. Carly White tries a 3. That's a good job by Kayla Rolfe, who is a bit undersized, playing the center position. Backup point guard from Ohio State, Kaya Henderson, getting some run. Anderson, baseline jumper was fouled. Couple of free throws for Amirah.
A couple of unforced errors there. Foul by Harvard, so Anderson, again, has had some pretty good looks. Made the one as we talked about. Nice little ball fake there, which is what forces Wright to be a little bit behind the play and then has to reach. And that's where the foul is called.
Amirah Anderson leads Boston College as a freshman in rebounding to this point. One of those things where I'm sure Coach Mack would tell you somebody's got to do it. She's not the biggest on the court, not afraid to stick her nose in. Different kind of roster for Boston College this year. And this is a nice end to the quarter. 10-2 is the spurt for BC.
You know, when teams go cold from the floor, you have to take advantage of that. And Boston College, to their credit, has done that as this quarter has played out.
Across the court, Mnase. Pass into the corner, and another missed three-point shot from Sanaya Glenbello. Turnover on the outlet pass, though. Carly White gets it up ahead for Mnase. Shot clock is turned off. Harvard backs it out.
Yeah, you get the idea, right? Going in transition, that's what BC likes to do when they're going right, but the timer was off at that point, so that's one that Coach Mack will probably show on tape and say, hey, just reset, get the final shot.
Well, they're going to anyway.
End up getting,
yeah,
just as it played, as they planned.
Falling to the ground on that one. Carly White, and it's been quiet for Carly White, Harvard's leading scorer in the opening quarter.
You could see kind of just lost the handle on it. And then it was after the fact, after she had already lost it, that she ends up kind of losing her footing.
About 6 turnovers for the Crimson. 7 seconds to go the length of the court. McDaniel had more time than she realized, I think. Anderson has time for the putback, and it counts for Amirah Anderson. Run. And they inbound to start the second. Tiani McDaniel. That's a tough pass that got to Tomlinson. Anderson right to the basket. Anderson has scored 6 straight points. Some of her most inspired basketball that we've seen thus far in her freshman campaign. 9-0 run for BC. Wide open is Carly White, didn't shoot it. And then Glenbello missed. We're gonna have a foul against Harvard. Halp got to the ball first, and instead of a held ball, we're gonna have a Harvard foul.
You know, it's just an odd sequence right now because, I mean, that's definitely the right pass to make. First, let's look at BC on the offensive side. Anderson, nice little ball fake there, gets into the paint, really understanding her footwork there was good. And then this is on the other play. I mean, it was the right decision to make that pass. The shot doesn't go, and then the foul right there for that kind of second effort by White diving in against Erin Halp.
That's one of those, you win the possession if you're Erin Halp for Boston College by being the first on the floor.
Oh, she'd be winning that stat today because she's been knocked down a few times, and right there gets possession for the Eagles.
Boy, if I'm BC, I might keep feeding Amirah Anderson. Again, she's got the last 6 points in this game. And here she is, and she traveled. A little bit of happy feet.
You know, I know we've been talking about the size in this game specifically, Josh, but even putting that point aside, the Eagles actually go the other way with a little bit of a small lineup right now with Tomlinson, Halp, and McDaniel all on the floor at the same time. It's the first time we've seen that today.
Harvard trying to end a scoring drought here. Abigail Wright, who scored their first 6. Nina Mnase. Wright draws the double team. Good hard trap on Abigail Wright. And White got tripped up with 3 on the timer. Looked like her feet just got caught up with the Boston College defender.
Yeah, that's what they're going to get here. I mean, it's a really good job of defense by Boston College all the way through this sequence. Pretty good find by Wright to just find some outlet all the way cross court. And then it was just that little trip against Anderson, who's called for the foul. That is her second. She stays on the floor for the moment.
Right into Wright. And Abigail Wright, first basket since early on, but she's got 8.
So that whole sequence, the Eagles keep Harvard out of the paint. And then off the inbounds play, they're able to get there.
And Kayla Rolfe can't find the range from 3. Carly White in attack mode. Essentially, Carly White is the replacement for Harmony Turner. And she's really had to step up her game from her sophomore to junior seasons. That's travel on Glenn Bello.
So, you know, this it almost goes without saying, Josh, because we obviously understand, but when BC has been able to keep Abigail Wright out of the paint and force her back towards the three-point line, it has thrown off the rhythm of this Harvard offense. When she's been able to get into the paint, Harvard has had their pick of their shot, and that's where they've been most effective. So even there, it's not a right shot per se, but it's just, it forces a kind of a pass that you wouldn't necessarily be throwing in the rhythm of their offense when it's going right, and it eventually leads to the turnover.
Nice pass inside for Carmody. Didn't have a shot, though. And a 3-second violation then on Lily Carmody. We were talking about Abigail Wright from right up the road in Newton North High School. In this game, she's made 4 of her 6 field goals. Everybody else on the Crimson thus far have 2 makes combined.
Yeah, a third of the attempts so far as well. 4 rebounds in this first half. So she and Carmody they've been the 2 over the course of this game.
2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Another trap, and that forced Gabby Anderson to hit the sideline. That's aggressive jump traps that we've seen from BC defensively here.
Yeah, you know, at first we were talking about the defense, talking about a zone. And now it's the zone, but into the trap, and that's where BC's been really effective.
Carmody with 9, Amirah Anderson 8, 17 of BC's 20 from those 2 players combined. 5 to shoot, good drive, McDaniel. Carmody had it blocked, Krupa. And that's a foul against BC. Great defense by Katie Krupa.
Yeah, Krupa here does a pretty good job because watch, after the miss, the double team's there, and the double team's what allows Carmody to get the offensive rebound, but Krupa really understanding time and space extremely well there. Kind of peels off of the missed rebound, gets right back there defensively with Carmody, is able to block the shot.
2 fouls now on Tiani McDaniel, who's on the bench. Open look for Mnase, and it rimmed off. Oh, and there is Wright, who missed the putback. A 3rd chance. Glenn Bello, 3 misses. It is a battle royale for every rebound under that basket, and Harvard has the arrow. They'll get a 4th chance on this trip.
Well, again, it's Abigail Wright who knocks out not 1 but 2 offensive rebounds. There's the drive by Glenn Bello. And then see everybody just going down.
6 offensive rebounds now in the game for the Crimson. It actually feels like more than that, doesn't it? And there's a foul on Carmody on the reach-in. And Sanaya Glenn-Bello was on her way in. They say that's a shooting foul. Okay.
Similar argument coming from the Boston College sideline.
I'm curious if this was really the actual shooting.
Yeah, because I think there was some miscommunication because one of the officials was calling for the sub,
Okay, let's see. Is she in the act of shooting here when this? In my opinion, no.
And they've actually changed it, so they're going to say not a shooting foul.
Did they hear me? They heard Coach Mack, I'm sure.
Well, it was because, you know, one of the officials was calling for the sub to come in saying no free throws, so it was even some miscommunication there, but I think they did get together and they do get that right. It's hard when there's someone named Wright on the floor. It just, it messes with the whole rhythm.
And here is White.
Yes.
White threw it up, and a defensive rebound for BC.
White was not right on that shot, but it was a good look. Neither team has scored here, by the way, in almost 3 minutes.
Tomlinson spinning left and had it blocked. Score remains a 6-point BC lead. Nina Mnase kicked it out. Harvard is 3 out of its last 18 from the field. Boston College right now, not much hotter. Mnase, entry pass. Right through the double team again, and that's an offensive foul on a driving Carly White. I mean, we are seeing some defense.
So here's the one, and Tomlinson trying to go up and cannot get it through Gabby Anderson. And then the other side, you know, Wright does a decent job finding where the opening is in the offense, especially against this zone, but it still is just taking Harvard out of its rhythm a little bit. So Harvard hasn't scored in 3:14. BC hasn't scored in 4:29 at this point, but they're still holding the lead 20-14. And turnover.
Yeah, Tomlinson turns it over again. Down the court on the leak out, Abigail Wright. What a catch and finish. Already 10 for the local Abigail Wright.
And what happened there? Boston College was unable to set up its defense as Harvard got down the floor, as you said. And that's where both teams have had success.
BC almost 5 minutes since they've scored. Carmody spinning left, got to the basket and ends that right there with a beautiful move. Lily Carmody.
First bucket of the second quarter for Carmody, and now into double figures. I think we're going to see more and more touches for number 8 as this game goes on.
Three-pointer for Abigail Wright. Why not? 13 of Harvard's 19 belong to the junior big Abigail Wright. That's foul on Carly White.
That three-point shot was wide open. I think the Eagles, you know, at some level live with that. Obviously with, you know, less of a defensive breakdown there, but you know, if they can push her out of the paint, force Harvard to work through other players than number 40, that's got to be the recipe defensively right now.
Jocelyn Greer had it rejected out of bounds. Glenn Bello did that. Before that three-pointer that Wright just made, Harvard was 1 of 11 on threes as a team.
Well, this is already Harvard's 4th block of this first half.
This is Rolfe open for 2, and she left it short. Rare offensive rebound for Boston College, though. Greer lets it fly, left side. Couple of misses on the possession for Jocelyn Greer.
I mean, that's a good look right there. Good drive by Carmody. Eagles trying to find their offense once again here late in the second quarter.
BC scored first in the quarter to go ahead by 8. Now Harvard could tie with a three-point make. They'll play through Wright again. That was a tough scoop. Defended well by Kayla Rolfe.
Yeah, maybe kind of forced that one a little bit deeper into the timer.
Amirah Anderson, 8 points today as a freshman for BC. She was great early. Carmody, that spin move again. Wow, that is pretty basketball. Put her defender in the spin cycle.
I mean, everything for Carmody today has been on that drive, right? It's 6 field goals made, all of them from right inside there.
Katie Krupa. Here's the answer for Harvard. Her first basket of the game. Senior comes in averaging 5 points. BC's going to try to play through Lily Carmody again. That time had to pick up the dribble. Tough pass, and it's going to be a turnover.
Here's the take by Carmody. Look at this. Around Rolfe right there, and that's where she commits against Abigail Wright. Just a wonderful take by Lily Carmody.
You see those 13 points. She and Amirah Anderson have combined for 21 of BC's 24. Two players at 90% of the points. And Nase's three. All parts of the rim, but through to tie the game. Harvard has come back, and we are level. Nina M. Nase in a career game against Oakland. That first game out at the tournament at Cal this weekend when she had 17 points. Those are her first today. Rolfe going baseline, tough shot. Just barely grazed the rim there. Kayla Rolfe. Harvard has a chance for the lead. In transition, Rocco. Back-to-back threes for Harvard. Elena Rocco, a rare make this season.
It's been a slow build, but now all of a sudden, as you said, here comes the Harvard offense. 8 points in a row on 3 consecutive made shots.
Very quick 8-0 run. Final minute of the quarter. Tomlinson. Tough shot over Krupa, and Athena Tomlinson got it to drop. She's got to figure out a way, Eric, to get those shots over the big, tall arms. Second bucket for Athena, though. She got it to drop, and now the shot clock, about a 15-second differential with the game clock. And rolls off for Wright.
The one thing Harvard's doing a great job of is getting right mismatches against this zone, forcing Rolfe to have to step up defensively, and it's allowing them to pick their shots late in this half.
Carmody couldn't hit the rim. Still 3 seconds and a carry. Yeah, absolutely. Ball just kind of got stuck on the hands there of Sanaya Glenbello as she was trying to dribble across midcourt. So BC, which beat the buzzer to score a bucket at the end of the first quarter, will have a chance to do that again.
A lot happened in that sequence between whistles right there, but Harvard trying to go quickly, but you know, plenty of time here, and we've seen BC good designs off their inbounds.
Not enough time though. That was Erin Haupt. Wouldn't have counted even had it gone. And the halftime score, Harvard 27, Boston College 26. 20 minutes in the books, 20 to go. Boston College has it back in play. Thanks for being with us. Josh Maurer, Eric Galanti, our entire crew. We appreciate you spending part of your Wednesday night with us on ACC Network Extra. Haupt, immediate look. Made her first start at Boston College. The 5-year senior tonight. She's missed both of the shots that she's attempted. And White gets free out of the corner. Carly White picking up where they left off in that second quarter from long range. Eric, you mentioned it.
Yeah, that's a bunch in a row here for Harvard. Again, it really took a while to get going, but it feels like they are in rhythm right now, and an offensive foul. Well, that's the trade-off, right? Because, you know, if you're Harvard defensively, you saw what Lily Carmody wants to do, right? She's going to go downhill. She's going to drive the basketball. And that was actually one of the better looks that BC had created for Haupt, but it's called for the offensive foul.
Harvard has hit its last 4 3-point attempts after starting 1 of 11. Largest lead for the Crimson. Katie Krupa tries her hand, and that's now 5 made threes in a row for the visitors. And coming from different figures. Timeout called.
Shot.
So Harvard has made 5 consecutive threes by 5 different players. I think Carmody got away with a travel there, too. Boston College has now scored 6 points in the last 11 minutes, and that's been their answer today. And the spin move that Lily Carmody keeps putting on is pretty basketball.
I mean, that's been the Eagles' whole offense so far. Really great take to the basket again.
That's how BC gets its first points of the second half. And finally, a three-pointer does not go. It's going over to BC.
Wright's got that kind of windmill tip on these offensive rebounds, and sometimes it's going to work. Here's Carmody again. And again, these are developing from pretty far out. That's all the way from the free throw line that she makes that move, and pressure from Harvard there creates the turnover.
It's happened a few times to Athena Tomlinson, the floor general of Boston College, in the backcourt. She leads the ACC in assists per game coming into tonight. Abigail Wright with an offensive foul. Good job by Lily Carmody, who's doing everything for BC to help them stay within earshot.
Yeah, you'll see this inbounds pass. And, you know, it's actually Rolfe doing enough with a little bit of contact there that Wright didn't have perfect footing on it. Couldn't quite get her positioning before committing the foul.
That's going to be a foul, I think, against Harvard. See what they call it. Yep, it is. It's against the Crimson, so BC will inbound it. It's trying to fight through a screen. BC keeps the basketball here. Watch this. Carly White try to fight through the screen. I think that's the right call.
It's Carmody, the one who's setting that screen, and she's pretty good position there.
You know she wants to spin left. That time she spun right and got blocked.
Well, that's help defense, right? It's reading what she wants to do, and Krupa comes over, makes that play. Really well done.
Abigail Wright got one-on-one coverage, but missed the layup. Gabby Anderson tracks down an offensive rebound. Krupa. Another one for Gabby Anderson on the offensive glass. And a third crack on the possession for the Crimson. Carly White's three, yes, sir. She's the first Crimson player to hit multiple triples today. They've hit 7 from 6 different players. Largest lead is up to 8. Halp gets the look. BC with an offensive board from Lily Carmody. Who else? Anderson, baseline step back to double figures for Amirah Anderson. 10 points.
She's done a good job creating a shot for herself. Really lifted Boston College in that second quarter when they needed some offense with Carmody off the floor.
Inside, Abigail Wright. Good entry pass from Sanaya Glenbello, and Abigail Wright continues to do her work with 15.
And why not? I mean, whenever she can get that step, she's going right to the basket.
Carmody, long range this time. 18 of Boston College's 33 points belong to Lily Carmody.
That is the Eagles' first three-pointer of the game.
And we've got a player down, so the whistle blows. It's Carly White.
Just concern in those non-contact situations, but hoping for the best.
Up by 5, Harvard. Now who's going to step up for the Crimson without Carly White? Krupa had it poked free. Carmody. The Arrow's going to keep it here, but only 2 to shoot. If Boston College is making a play in this game, I feel like every time I'm calling the name of Lily Carmody on either end of the court.
Yeah, I don't think you feel like it. I think you are. I mean, she's been everywhere. You know, sometimes we talk about it with stars. Oh, it's right at the end of the timer. kind of sensing when they need to take over a game, and she's sensing what she has to be the one to will Boston College back in.
Can she do it again? In the paint. No, not that time for Carmody. That was a pretty good look.
Against a little bit of a double team too, but you're right, she does create a decent chance for herself.
Only her 5th miss in 13 field goal attempts. Harvard by 5. Glenn Bello kicks it over. This is Rocco. Good defensive rebound there. First time we see Tiani McDaniel on the court this half for BC.
That did a good job to find that in some traffic. These are important moments right here. Harvard has missed a few in a row from the floor. Can Boston College find their way back in? Still very much within striking distance.
McDaniel going right to work. 0 for 5 in this game is Tiani McDaniel, and those have been the shots. She's getting it to the rim. Got reserves in there for each side now. Glenn Bello's 3 from the corner. Sanaya Glenn Bello makes it an 8-point lead again.
And it's Krupa who sets it up. Krupa's been pretty impressive. Right from the ACC logo there, does a great job to find the opening in the zone.
Approaching 4 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Ava McGee, one of those reserves in for BC. Also Jocelyn Greer. Tomlinson, tough shot. It's the 12-footer, Athena Tomlinson.
Just kind of rolling everybody back defensively and then creates space for herself.
Krupa tees it up. And a good box out by BC's Jocelyn Greer gets the foul against Glenn.
It's just continued to build from there. It's obviously more than just the one program, but you know, they are challenging themselves early on. Michigan's on the road to California and Alabama, as you said, coming up in Arkansas. It's pretty impressive. It's going to allow them to get that challenge early in the season, try to get better for Ivy League play.
Carmody, travel, drag that pivot foot. We told you they played in that invitational out at Cal Berkeley this past weekend. They played the host Cal Bears on Sunday night, then had to really hustle to the airport in San Francisco to catch a red-eye back east. So some of those travel, when you go different parts of the country, they create logistical issues. They barely made their flight home and didn't get back to campus till 9:30 a.m. Monday.
Just in time for morning classes.
I bet you they had to. Ava McGee, the steal. Ava McGee, the bucket. Did it herself for BC.
It's going to be with this Eagles defense if they can find their way back in. This trap, this pressure, trying to get Harvard out of their rhythm and doing it right now with right off the floor.
Oh, and Glenn Bello missed an easy one. 4 points in a row for the home team, has cut an 8-point deficit in half. They're hanging in there. McDaniel steps back for 3. Ava McGee makes the play on the boards. And that one thrown out of bounds by Carmody. Right into her own bench.
And by the way, Abigail Wright's coming right back into this game. Look at the steal here for Boston College. Again, the defense, McGee with a great read against Krupa. And a little move back to the right, little hesitation. You know, just to wrap the point on the schedule thing that you talked about, it's not exactly the same, but remember, one of the quirks at this point in the Ivy League compared to most of the other conferences is they have to play that back-to-back Friday, Saturday throughout the schedule. So, you know, this a lot of games in a short window, this obviously benefits them in ways that other teams don't have to deal with.
That was halfway home for Emnase. The putback, though, is good. It was Mary Hollensteiner getting in for her first basket of the game, doing it on the second chance opportunity. They're going to have some players step up now with Carly White injured. And probably for at least the rest of this game. That was blocked. Abigail Wright challenging the jump shooter, freshman Jocelyn Greer. Two-point basket matches the largest lead of the game. BC led by 8 early in the second quarter, and that's a foul against Amirah Anderson, non-shooting. Nope, Ava McGee, beg your pardon.
Yeah, I guess the one, I don't even know if knock's the right word, Josh. You know, the one thing when you kind of look at the anatomy of a game, there's probably been moments where it felt like Harvard had a chance to pull away and they have not yet. And that's that BC staying in contact. They get an offensive foul called here, well taken by Tomlinson. Now BC's got to start to make some shots on the other end for it to matter, but they are doing their best to hang in at this point.
Watch number 5 in crimson. They say that Gabby Anderson wasn't set as she set that screen. "70 seconds to go in the quarter. McDaniel tries it again. She is 0 out of 7. Held ball, though, and it'll stay on this end. BC ties her up.
It wasn't a bad read there, right? She got to the elbow, not even hesitated, but just took a second, realized that lane developed down the right side. Just didn't quite have the finishing touch on it.
Ava McGee makes the play on the offensive boards. Remember, Tiani McDaniel, the team's leading scorer, came off the bench today and has just 1 point. She's going to keep trying it. Oh, and that was as close as it's come. The putback by Amirah Anderson.
And again, you've mentioned it a lot. The rebounding ability of Anderson is why she continues to get looks on the floor as a freshman.
40 seconds to go in the quarter. Long skip pass. Gabby Anderson found Hollensteiner, and inside, Krupa's fouled. 4 against Boston College as a team this quarter. Actually make it 3. They put it up on the scoreboard very quick.
So here's McDaniel on the drive. And again, this one's so close, but the offensive rebound off of Rolf Anderson right there for the putback. Eagles close as they've been in a while.
12 points for freshman Amirah Anderson. I think you'd have to say this is the best game that she's played thus far as an Eagle.
Yeah, you've certainly seen the flashes, but this has been sustained now over the last couple of quarters. Heads up.
That's out of bounds off of Harvard. Nobody touched that inbounds pass.
Maybe not.
Oh, how that, the original call was that nobody touched it. Yeah, that's
and now
correct.
they stick with it.
Yeah.
Just had to double check.
Yeah, make sure. And I think they were talking about where the inbounds pass was going to take place from. It's the spot where it was thrown, since no player touched the ball. Harvard actually has only scored 2 points in the last 4 minutes.
And that's what we talked about, these moments where, you know, Harvard led by as much as 8 with 4:25 remaining. In this third quarter, it was at that point a 41-33 game. So again, it's a mini run.
Yeah, 6-2.
6-2 over, you know, a 4-minute span. BC clawing their way back in.
They can make it a 1-possession game headed into the fourth quarter with a basket here. 3-second game clock, shot clock differential. Athena Tomlinson with the ball in her left hand. Rolf, good entry, found Carmody, and Carmody scores. That was a great play by BC. And we have a 2-point game in this New England rivalry headed into the fourth quarter.
You know, the point total and the efficiency, but to do it holding the ball as much as she is, and at a moment where Boston College has absolutely needed it.
Krupa banks it home to start the fourth. Wow, Katie Krupa's second 3. There's no way that's how she designed it.
Looked over the bench and was like, well, hey, it works.
Tell you what, that's a potential game changer.
It's a massive shot, just as Boston College was feeling probably as good as they had the whole second half.
Now Amirah Anderson with a long 2 and a foul. Amirah Anderson's best game in college to date continues. And a chance to get the deficit right back down to 2. It started with the bank being open at 7:30 local time.
Well, you see, wanted initially look for the pass inside, then decides just to hoist, was like, oh, it counts, I called it. And Anderson, again, you know, sometimes we talk about the efficiency of that long two compared to the three-point shot, but you still got to take the look where you have the space and you can knock it down. And the three wasn't really there. Steps in, takes a high percentage shot. Really big moment there for BC to get right back within two after the Harvard three.
That's a good answer. Harvard beats some pressure. Elena Rocco in the game to start the fourth. Glenn Bello across for Wright, and Abigail Wright delivers her 17th point. All right, offense is starting to open up here at the beginning of the final quarter.
So now, as much as we talked about it, you know, it was Wright and was Carmody before. Now it's Carmody and Anderson combining for 35. The Eagles 44 against the 17 from Wright, the only one in double figures.
Amirah Anderson. Now Carmody with a timer at 5, and she couldn't get that entry pass into Kayla Rolfe. Wright tees it up, lets it fly. Out of bounds off of Harvard. Last touched Nina Emnase.
You know, again, as good as she's been today, I think you still live with that look if you're Boston College there.
Crimson have hit 9 threes. You saw just a moment ago, Boston College just won. 1 out of 13 from three-point range, yet only trailing by 4. Carmody's BC high 21 points in a win against New Hampshire. She's at 20. Tiani McDaniel only with 1 point today. And Anderson got fouled with the shot clock under 5 seconds. Abby Anderson just got her 3rd for the Crimson. Harvard lost its leading scorer this season, Carly White, due to a lower body injury last quarter. 5-second violation. Couldn't get the ball inbounded, BC. Here is Carly White.
Came back with the ice and on crutches, and just hoping for the best there. Obviously, a scary one.
It's one of those you just feel so awful for the young lady. She's played so well. Helped this Harvard team at the outset of its season. 3, Rocco, popped in and out. More than halfway home, it felt like. Anderson, transition, 3-point shot. Count that, and a foul away from the ball. BC's gonna keep it. They're within 1, and they're gonna inbound because of a foul against Harvard underneath. 6-point possession.
Yeah, and it was the correct call. The foul had not yet occurred when the basket went in.
BC a chance for the lead. Amirah Anderson with 18. Lily Carmody with 20. A heat check there for Anderson, and it did not hit the iron. I guess you'd forgive it the way that she's been shooting the ball.
Absolutely. So BC on a 14-7 run.
Lob inside. Krupa finding Abigail Wright. Perfect entry. Big to big.
Yeah, all the size is pushed out there for Boston College. You get a mismatch with Wright on Anderson, and she's able to slip behind.
Tomlinson for 2. Athena Tomlinson with a mid-range jumper. She's 4 out of 5 tonight.
Yeah, quietly 8 points, as you said. She's been pretty efficient in her shooting. 4 assists to go along with it. That was one thing we talked a lot about early in the season, that, you know, as she develops that DNA into that pass-first point guard that BC needs her to be in her sophomore season, Coach Mack said it's actually going to create more scoring opportunities for her, and that has certainly played out the early part of this season.
Abigail Wright's got the last 4 for Harvard. And a travel against Sanaya. Glenn Bello gives it back to BC.
So again, right on cue, that time BC has who they want. They have Rolfe on right. She has to pass out of it because the mismatch is not there, and the whole rotation gets slightly out of whack, ends up leading to the turnover.
Turnovers against Harvard, 15. Boston College, 13. And even when they had Carly White in the game, those turnovers were still pretty high than, I'm sure higher than Carrie Moore would have liked. Boston College, after trailing by as many as 8 this half, takes the lead with any bucket here as we approach 6 minutes to go in regulation. Another close game between these two New England rivals. Tomlinson for Rolfe at the rim, no.
Good play design, too.
Well executed, shot just didn't drop. Under 6. Rolfe guarding right. That's foul underneath against BC. 2 in the fourth quarter against the Eagles as a team.
It's Tomlinson who was called for the foul, her second. Jousting underneath.
Boston College going very small here, as you could see Rolfe go to the bench. The tallest player on the court right now for BC is Lily Carmody, 5'11". Offensive foul against Harvard, though.
Yeah, and you know, the turnovers, as you talked about, which weren't, you know, the biggest factor early, even though the number was high. Now all of a sudden you start to look back at that number, elevated now, 16 turnovers.
Almost thrown away on the inbounds by Tomlinson. She's got it back, though, with some numbers for the lead. Good look, only her second missed field goal attempt.
By everyone kind of stopping and seeing, whoa, was that turned over? It actually allowed BC to get back quickly. Tomlinson just couldn't quite finish.
Glenn Bello fortunate that she didn't travel. Double team against Wright. Dig down, Carmody. Wright got it back, though.
3, 2, 1.
And then Glenn Bello was stripped by Tomlinson. And another opportunity for Boston College to grab back a lead. Is that 3 straight possessions, I think, for Harvard with a turnover?
3 turnovers over their last minute 54 here.
Midway through the fourth and a 1-point game. It's Ava McGee going to work. McGee gives BC the lead.
All right, what a great job by McGee to continue to dribble, to create that space for herself.
From 8 points down late in the third quarter, Boston College in front. Corner 3, Mnasse, what a response for Harvard. Nina Mnasse's second 3-point make.
Boy, it's only been the 2 made shots, but they have been massive ones for Harvard.
Now we're going back and forth. Feels like every year, BC and Harvard come right down to the wire. And now it's Halp finding McGee, and she traveled on her way to the hoop. Just a quick step without a dribble. See that so often there. Your eyes get wide. You think you got a path to the rim.
Especially after being the one that made that shot just a couple of moments ago to give the Eagles the lead.
So now Harvard with a 2-point lead in the basketball. And they go through Abigail Wright, and Wright could not hit it.
Good strong rebound by McDaniel.
McDaniel doesn't have a basket today. She made a good pass there for McGee. And McGee has hit 2 in a row for Boston College. We're tied. Ava McGee. For 2, Anderson. Her first basket of the whole game gives Harvard back the lead as we approach 3 minutes.
They got down quickly, and it became too good a look to pass up.
Tiani McDaniel, who's not made a shot tonight. McDaniel got blocked but fouled, and she'll get 2 free throws with under 3 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, McDaniel got hit up high. Let's go through this sequence. Ava McGee, after the bobble, just a nice little spin and the fall away. A great shot, that one. But again, look how quickly Harvard gets down the floor. The outlet pass, one extra ball right there, and Anderson takes advantage of it. We got a good one, partner.
Tell you what, this is the third straight year where it has been nip and tuck between Boston College and Harvard, coming right down to the end of the game.
And remember, what has been the separator the last 3 years? It's been the fourth quarter. Now Harvard has controlled the fourth quarter.
Just the second point tonight for Tiani McDaniel, the 6-year college player who comes in averaging 15. This one would tie it. 2 out of 3 at the charity stripe in this game. She does. 55-55. Good press break, and Gabby Anderson all alone at the hoop.
Yep, fantastic press break for Harvard. In the backcourt that whole time, and Anderson slips by, second time in a row.
Carmody ties it right back up with her BC career-high 22nd point.
First points of the fourth quarter for Carmody. Again, in a big moment when the Eagles needed it.
And a foul against Carmody, but that's not in the bonus yet for Harvard. So they'll inbound in this tie game. Punch, counter punch here down the stretch. You've got Gabby Anderson, who had 0 field goals the whole game, getting the last 2 for Harvard. Senior out of Columbus, Ohio, stepping up for them. Ball fake here. Mnase into the corner and wide open Anderson, but couldn't hit it. There's Abigail Wright. Fresh 20. Offensive foul then against Wright. Lily Carmody drew the whistle for Boston College. She got the offensive rebound, Eric, but let's see about the extension.
And it's the 4th foul on Wright. Just, it was that elbow low. Carmody with a little smile at the end of it. Boy, a couple of times they've lost Anderson defensively. She had a pretty good look once again, and you know, because of it, that's why everybody jumps out. Harvard gets the rebound. They continue to be good on the offensive glass, but the Eagles get away with it now. Wright stays out there with 4 fouls.
McGee, no whistle underneath. Gabby Anderson defended. And Harvard in the final minute 45 looking for the lead. Crimson not yet in the bonus as we approach 90 seconds. Glenn Bello. And Anderson gets the rebound again. Right back to Glenn Bello for the lead. Gabby Anderson's making the winning plays at the end here for the Crimson.
Absolutely. How good has she been? You know, you can only take advantage of the moment that you're given. BC is not going to use the timeout here. They're going to let it play out.
McGee for the tie. McGee hits it just inside the arc. Ava McGee's 3rd basket in the closing minutes.
And Anderson on one side, McGee on the other for BC.
Krupa, no. Ava McGee has really stepped it up for BC, the redshirt junior. I don't think Joanna Burnaby McNamee wants to stop
She called
play.
the play. She likes the look that they have.
And they play through Lily Carmody. 1-on-1 against Glenn Bello. And a timeout now taken. So it's 33 seconds remaining in a tie game, and Boston College will have possession.
Yeah, the smart timeout. She got stuck. 4 fouls in there right now. That could be an advantage point for you.
Amirah Anderson with a timer down to 3. Anderson has to chuck it for the lead. Timeout Harvard after Abigail Wright's rebound. 25 seconds remain. The shot clock will be turned off. For Boston College as well, should there be a tie-up.
And Harvard is going to call another timeout here, Josh. So they get a peek at what BC.
Harvard has lost its leading scorer this season to Carly White due to injury.
It's McDaniel on Wright to start this sequence.
Inside here is Wright. Brought the ball down. It's a held ball. And as we told you, Boston College has the arrow. They converged on Abigail Wright, and they end up getting the turnover. 19 seconds in a tie game. One of these teams is going to get a thrilling victory tonight. The other will leave heartbroken. 10 to go. And it's Athena Tomlinson. Mnasi the defense. Rolfe trying to get it inside. Carmody driving. Couldn't get it up to the rim. Will play overtime in Chestnut Hill. Well defended by Harvard on Lily Carmody. Certainly see an official blowing a whistle there for the body bump, but you could also understand why it wasn't blown in that spot.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with it.
And for whatever it's worth, Boston College did not put up much of a protest.
Yeah.
So here we go. Extra time. Krupa inside, and Williams is being fouled as she caught it. Wright, I beg your pardon, Abigail Wright. One more before Harvard gets into the bonus. The fouls from that fourth quarter carry over. So good foul by BC. Ava McGee, who was so great at the end of that fourth quarter for BC, is coming right back into the game for Kayla Rolfe.
Eagles not nearly the foul trouble that Harvard is in right now.
Senior Sanaya Glenn Bello gliding to the rim. Offensive foul on Glenn Bello. 20 turnovers against the Crimson. And that's her fourth.
Well, let's see, 22 driving down that left side, and Tomlinson kind of sliding in just enough that they call the foul.
I would see why Carrie Moore wouldn't love that one.
That's the 20th turnover, by the way, on Harvard tonight.
And a travel by Amirah Anderson. No question about that one. So for Harvard, you've got both Glenn Bello and Abigail Wright playing with 4 personal fouls. Each team turns it over in the opening possession of the extra period.
I think if you're Boston College, you have to attack that, especially with this much time left in overtime. I mean, it's such a massive difference, especially Wright.
Mnasi is the one that's getting the minutes in place of the injured Carly White. Abigail Wright inside. Her 21st point of the game gives Harvard the first 2 of overtime.
Just a great look. She's been so effective and gets it up to the basket so quickly.
McGee screens for Tiani McDaniel. And now Tomlinson lets fly. Banked and missed. Amirah Anderson secures the offensive rebound. Fell. No whistle, and she gets a timeout. It's falling to the hard one. Yeah, it's a good call by the official.
Remember, the Eagles struggled to get it in once. They do get it here.
McDaniel wildly off the glass. And the arrow's going to keep it on this end. You got another offensive rebound here for Boston College.
Oh, this is pretty good help defense from behind to affect that shot from McDaniel. It's hard to believe. Still looking for her first field goal make of the day. Feels like it's due.
Yeah, and a lot of them have been in close like that. Just about 3.5 minutes to go. The jumper for 2, and that time an air ball. 3rd offensive rebound on the possession for BC. How about a 4th?
Got to get it off.
It counts. And a foul against BC. Free throws for Abigail Wright. BC missed 4 shots on that trip down the court. And Harvard's Abigail Wright will get 2 free throws.
Yeah, those last 2 Tomlinson had to shoot because of where it was on the timer. Doesn't hit the rim here, just 8 to shoot. So that's why Tomlinson is hustling here. And then to her credit, actually goes and gets this second effort and gets off a good look. And then McGee called for the foul. Bunch of chances.
And Wright has all 3 points in overtime to this point. I shorted them. BC went 0 for 5 on that possession on field goals.
Back.
0 for 5 on one trip. So Harvard and Abigail Wright with 4 points to start overtime. To answer, McDaniel trying again. Still can't find the range. 0 for 11. Krupa gets it off right into the corner. Big shot. Gabby Anderson back rims it. Abigail Wright. About a double-double of 23 and 13. Into the corner for Glenn Bello. So a long empty trip for the Crimson. McGee tries a three and back rimmed it.
Offense has just gotten a little cold here in this overtime period.
And a whistle. Timeout Harvard with 2. This is the 4th of 8 straight games away from Cambridge that they're playing. So out of the timeout, here come the Crimson. Glenn Bello to the hoop, got fouled. 2 free throws for Sanaya Glenn Bello.
Now they're getting inside again. When Harvard has been able to create these mismatches in the paint, that's when they've been most effective. They have controlled this series the last few years, looking for a 4th straight win over Boston College.
And we will say again that the last 3 years they have been thrillers, all nip and tuck. Glenn Bello. That was her 9th point of the game. First free throw she's attempted. The senior. 1 out of 2. So it's 5-0 in overtime.
Still 2 minutes, but starting to get into must-score time for Boston College.
Again, 0 for 7 from the field here in overtime. And they turn it over on the entry pass. Sanaya Glenn Bello, and right to the rack. She'll go right back to the charity stripe. The Crimson defense has stepped up when it's mattered.
And the problem here is Harvard knows where BC wants to go with Carmody, so that's where the help defense can come in from Glenn Bello, and then goes all the way. Rolf has to commit the foul there, make life difficult at least. Make her earn these 2 points at the line.
There's only been 1 made field goal in the first 3+ minutes of overtime. Teams combined 1 for 10, but now Harvard has hit 4 free throws. And a chance to go up by 7 points. Senior out of Staten Island. She has been a part of some big wins. Those Harmony Turner-led Harvard teams last couple of years. Sanaya Glenn Bello trying to step up in her final season with the Crimson. But you feel like a must-score possession here for Boston College. They put Erin Haupt back into the game with Tiani McDaniel. The crossover and jumper. There's her first make of the night.
She's going to play it out defensively to start.
Shot clock issue.
Take an extra 2 seconds off, so 25. Here's the basket from McDaniel. A good look here as she just gets some space on the elbow, knocks it down.
Had been 0 of 11 on field goals before that. Glenn Bello. All the points for Harvard in overtime, either Wright or Glenn Bello. And then Krupa changes that with a big one from the left baseline.
Really good setup there.
And Tomlinson unable to hit. Sanaya Glenn Bello the rebound, and that might do it. I think BC's gonna have to foul. playing it out, trailing by 3 possessions here. Deciding not to give one yet.
Oh, a little miscommunication there.
Nina Amnase threw it away.
I thought she was taking that 3.
Carmody tries a 3. McDaniel fouled on the putback. Down 7, she'll get a couple at the stripe.
You know, if Boston College doesn't pull this out, I think you look back at this overtime period, it was that sequence, as you said, with 5 chances at it, 4 in a row coming out of an inbounds play off the timeout, and unable to convert.
It is 9-2, Harvard in overtime. Remember, BC also had that possession at the end of regulation where they had an opportunity to win the game. And really couldn't get a shot off when Carmody threw one up that got blocked right at the buzzer. Wasn't much of a shot. BC may look at that opportunity as one that they'll rue if they can't come from behind here. McDaniel 3 out of 4 tonight at the line. That's a big miss. Best she can do is cut the deficit to 6. And does. Harvard takes one of its 2 remaining timeouts to advance the basketball with 26 seconds remaining. Been seated on the end of the bench with a big ice bag on her apparently knee. 6-point game. And there's the foul against Sanaya Glenn Bello, who has made 3 of her 4 free throws here in overtime. She'll get 2 more.
The other thing you really credit Harvard for, you know, Wright picked up that 4th foul in regulation. Glenn Bello picked up that 4th foul early in the overtime period. Both of them have stayed on the floor, and both of them have not committed that 5th foul.
Glenn Bello is up to 11 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists as well. 4 out of 5 in overtime at the stripe. Another point to make, too. We've talked about how this is the 5th consecutive season these teams have played. Carrie Moore said to us earlier today, I'm glad BC still plays us. Lead is up to 8. It's the largest of the night.
She's got a chance to turn this into a perennial NCAA tournament team, the way that this Harvard team will be. This is, again, year 1 without Harmony Turner, as we talked about, but they got a really nice program they put together at Harvard under Carrie Moore.
And a turnover by Tomlinson on the inbounds. Free throws coming up for Nina Amnase as Harvard's going to pull this one out. Boston College has not executed the way that I'm sure they would have liked here in overtime.
You see, trying to get it to Carmody, that's the intended target. As you said, Amnase just in a really good position. We mentioned the turnovers on the Harvard side, 21 of them, well, that's 17 for Boston College.
Boston College 1 of 10 on field goals in overtime, and he also threw in some turnovers in there. That's how you're stuck on 3 points. It is now 12-3 in overtime.
Just to put a bow on it, 5th foul on Carmody. I know it's going to be in a loss today, but what a game it was for her when Boston College desperately needed buckets. 22 points, 5 rebounds.
Her best game as an Eagle thus far. Amirah Anderson with a career-high 18. 10 seconds as Rolfe is fouled shooting a 3-pointer. Is
not what you're looking for there.
Now I would think that Carrie Moore will have some words at Nina Amnase about challenging a 3-point jump shooter there.
Yeah, I would say. You don't need any words with that picture.
Kayla Rolfe has not scored tonight until that free throw. Thirteen to 5 in overtime. And now Harvard will call its final timeout to advance the ball here for the final 10 seconds. Boston College will have its record level at 3. Boston College will not foul. 72-65, an overtime thriller. 3 years in a row, these games have been decided right at the wire, and all 3 of them Harvard victories.